Hey everyone, welcome back to the Fish Keepers. Today I'm going to be talking about angelfish. Now angelfish are one of the coolest fish you can keep in the hobby. This isn't a complete guide, it only covers the angelfish specific stuff. So if you want to keep angelfish and you've never kept a fish before, you probably want to start with that before you do this. Now the parameters they like to live at is around 6.8 to 7.8 pH. Again, you can be closer to the edge if that's easier to you, right? You probably want to shoot right in the middle of that, so it's probably like a 7.4, you know. The like temperature between 74 and 82. So I got these two tanks right here behind me. I've got this 29 gallon. It's got a couple koi angelfish in it, and those fish are pretty healthy. That tank's I think at 77 right now, which again, at lower end of that scale, but that's perfectly fine as long as they're in it. This tank's set at 80. So actually, angelfish live for a pretty long time. People typically say fish don't live a long time, but if you keep good care of them, they will live a long time. Angelfish live around 8 to 12 years. They typically only breed for the first 3. So feeding is similar to any other fish, really. They are a cichlid, so they probably would prefer a more carnivore diet, but they will totally eat any herbivore foods that you feed them. You should feed them only what they eat in 2 minutes. Too much food is bad for fish. So you might think, oh, I'll overfeed, but it's actually better to underfeed than overfeed. People typically misassume that. And that overfeeding that you will do is going to cause pollutants in your water. Your fish would rather be hungry for a little bit than to be in dirty water. You want to feed them a varied diet of food. So this means you want to feed them as many things you can. Different types of food, different brands of food, different styles of feeding. So for a minimum tank size, I'd probably say around 29 gallons. So this tank right here is 29. This is 120. I've got a 40 gallon right there of angelfish. I would say you wouldn't want to put them in a tank any smaller than these. Any smaller than this, they're going to grow too big. Even in a 29, I would be cautious that they're going to get pretty big, and you might have to increase the size of the tank. As a temporary home, 20 ounce is probably fine, but it shouldn't be their permanent home. So you also want to follow the inch per gallon rule after that. So once you get after 29 gallons, just follow the inch per gallon rule and you'll be pretty safe. So angelfish will get around 13 inches tall, so that's around 13 gallons they'll require, but that's not perfect. 10 gallons would probably be okay. Again, it's not a perfect rule, but it is just a rule of thumb. So they're typically considered semi-aggressive fish, so they're only aggressive when they're territorial or when they're breeding. So you can put them with a lot of fish, but I would avoid other fish that are similar to that, where they're territorial and semi-aggressive. Anything very different from angelfish. So goldfish, barbs, and some species of tetra should be avoided, as they are going to nip at their fins, and you'll be able to tell that that's happened. Another thing is, it maybe should be obvious, but I'm going to say it anyways, is that you should not put fish in there that are smaller than their mouth. If they can fit the fish in their mouth, they will probably eat it. They are, again, carnivores, and in nature that's what they would do. Another thing to avoid is pointy decorations. So anything that's got sharp edges, rocks, or wood or whatever. So this has got these river stones with rounded edges. And this could mean even like plastic plants. So you want to get silk plants whenever you can. The plastic ones will cut the fish, and it could leave marks or damage on the fish. So typically, angelfish like to have some other fish with them, so they are somewhat schooling. I mean, they will appreciate it. You'll see them hang together around in the tank, and they'll look pretty great doing it. But they'll be completely fine by themselves too if you want it to be like a centerpiece fish. So it looks, in my opinion, I think it's really awesome when you see them swim around together. So I like to have more than one at all times, but you can do whatever you want with these. They also appreciate having many hiding spots. So this is something with all fish. So it's kind of counterintuitive in the way that more hiding spots mean you'll see the fish more. So if the fish feels like it can always dart to a hiding spot if it's startled, then it's going to be out all the time because it's not worried about getting scared. And angelfish are relatively easy fish to breed, and they may do it in your tank without you doing anything to encourage it. So if you intend to breed them, they will choose a mate themselves. So I've got 7 angelfish in the tank behind me here, and this is so that if they do decide to breed, they'll have plenty of choices of mate. It also guarantees, or it will increase the chances that if you want to breed those fish eventually, that you'll get a mate out of them. So it is nice to have. Again, 7 is a good number to shoot for, especially if you have a larger tank. So they'll naturally pair up too, so you don't even have to worry about anything. They'll just choose their own partner. This can be a little annoying if you're trying to selectively breed them, again trying to get certain colors or whatever, but in general that's a pretty nice part of the way they behave. It's pretty difficult to tell which ones are male or female until it's breeding time. Once it comes time to breed, it'll become fairly obvious if you know what to look for. So males will not change significantly, but females will develop a spawning tube on the bottom of them. Here's an image. And it protrudes from her body, and you'll be able to pretty easily tell which is the female, which is the male. So how does it actually work when they spawn? So when they spawn, the female will go up and down on the column that they're breeding. It could be the heater, or it could be, in this case, it is the overflow. So she's going in a row. She lays all of her eggs that she's going to in a row, and then the male comes by second and fertilizes all of them. Once the eggs have hatched, the parents will take care of them. Now, this isn't always true, but they will typically take care of their young. Now, they won't always, and you might have to step in to help, or they might actually just eat them. Because of how long they've been inbred, they sometimes lose the instinct of how do I take care of these fry. So it is something to be out for if you're intentionally breeding, but if you aren't, then it doesn't really matter. Make sure the fish get the conditions that they need, the right pH, right temperature and everything. Make sure that you're taking care of them correctly. And in doing so, you will have a fish that's going to live a long time. Check out all my other stuff. So I've got Instagram, I've got a Facebook. All of it is based around my business. So if you're interested, follow me in those places as well. And check out my website. A lot of the stuff that you need to take care of an aquarium is there, and you can get it at a lower price than in other places. Thanks so much for watching. Like and subscribe.